Tonight, extreme heat turning deadly and a dangerous storm threat across the country. Right now, millions at risk after tornadoes like this one ripped through the Midwest. And this huge waterspout spotted in Florida, with millions baking from brutal heat now turning deadly. Plus, Hawaii bracing for a tropical storm while still cleaning up from last week's hurricane. We're tracking it all. The trade war is on. Talks between the U.S. and Canada falling apart after Canada walked away, setting the stage for higher tariffs on Canadian goods, how it could impact the price you pay. Deadly attack as a Russian drone smashes into a Ukrainian mall. Vladimir Putin's new warning for Ukraine as both sides ramp up attacks. Emergency landing a small plane coming in low, then crashing into the ocean. Stunned witnesses on the beach who watched it all, and the rescue to save the pilot on board. Serena Williams' surprise U.S. Open comeback. The tennis star's plan to return to the court, and tennis legends she'll team up with. The fiery explosion overseas, sending flames into the air and lighting up the night sky. Faster than Usain Bolt, the Chinese robot that shattered the 100-meter world record. Country legend Dolly Parton sharing a new medical update on her health after she canceled the scheduled appearance. What she's revealing tonight. Struggling to find work. Why this is the toughest job market in years for new grads and what it means for everyone. And there's good news tonight about making new memories and the special way this couple celebrated their everlasting love. Nightly News starts right now.
This is NBC Nightly News with Jose Diaz-Balart.
Good evening. We begin tonight with the deadly heat and dangerous storm threat. This is what it looked like in West Virginia today. Hail pounding down. Large sections of the country are at risk for dangerous weather like this, and it comes after we saw tornadoes. This one ripping through Illinois. This is tens of millions of people are baking under extreme heat in places like Arizona, Southern California, and Texas. While in the Pacific, we're tracking a new tropical storm threat gaining strength as it churns near Hawaii, just a week after Hurricane Lala swept through the region. Ryan Chandler starts us off tonight from Dallas.
Tonight, a relentless summer of storms, with severe weather sweeping across the country. Millions at risk for damaging wind and hail through the evening.
Unreal.
A day after tornadoes tore through Illinois. And this waterspout appearing over otherwise sunny skies on Florida's Lake Okeechobee. In Texas, this brutally hot summer now turning deadly. Dallas County reporting its first heat-related fatality as millions deal with extreme heat.
We've seen weeks on end of nearly constant triple digits getting close to record highs. And this humidity isn't helping much either, with the temperature today feeling like 107 degrees.
You never get used to this heat. It is hot.
In Gary, Indiana, a nightmare for tens of thousands struggling to find relief from the heat as a widespread power outage persists into its 11th day.
This is going to be a long road to recovery for the individuals even after power is restored.
For some people there, power is not expected to come back until Tuesday. And in the Pacific, another system is churning toward Hawaii. Big Island residents preparing for Tropical Storm Moke, expected to dump 15 inches of rain in some areas starting tonight. The island still recovering from Hurricane Lala last week. For communities already stretched thin, this weekend's forecast offering little relief.
Ryan joins me now from Dallas. And Ryan, how long is all this extreme heat going to last?
Well, Jose, there's no end in sight. You see some families here trying to cool off any way they can because these heat alerts are up in Texas through tomorrow. They remain in the Southwest through next week. And also tonight, some 18 million people from Arkansas all the way to New York are under a thunderstorm watch. That could bring winds up to 70 miles per hour and hail. Jose.
Ryan Chandler in Dallas, thank you. The trade war between the U.S. and Canada appears to be ramping up tonight after talks broke down overnight. Yamiche Alcindor reports on where things stand and how it could impact the price you pay.
Tonight, a full-blown trade war between the U.S. and Canada. The Trump administration imposing 50% tariffs on a wide number of Canadian goods after trade talks between the longtime allies collapsed late Friday night.
Canada will match Washington's new tariffs dollar for dollar in order to protect Canadian workers, farmers, families, and businesses.
Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney vowing to retaliate and impose new tariffs on a range of industries, such as U.S. steel, dairy, and electronics after Labor Day.
We can't control the storm that blows in from Washington. We can, however, chart a new course by building Canada strong at home and diversifying our trading relationships abroad.
The White House not commenting. But earlier today, U.S. Trade Representative Jamieson Greer blaming Canada for the breakdown in negotiations.
We don't have new talks planned with the Canadians. They've always had the best deal, and they still would have an even better deal, but they didn't want that.
American consumers now worried the dispute will lead to higher prices. President Trump's new tariffs will impact about $20 billion worth of U.S. imports from Canada, hitting everything from refrigerators, paper plates, hockey sticks, to even some building materials and liquors. Last night, President Trump defending his multi-front trade wars.
I said, tariffs is my all-time favorite word. I love tariffs. I love the word. It's made us rich as hell.
And just this week, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce warning that higher tariffs would damage both economies and drive up costs for U.S. families.
Yamiche joins me now from the White House. Yamiche, how much could we see prices go up and when?
We don't exactly know at this time, but as we've seen in the past, it will depend on how much companies pass down to the consumers, and small businesses could face the biggest price increases. Jose?
Michelle Sandor at the White House. Thank you. And don't miss Kristen Welker's big lineup on Meet the Press tomorrow morning, right here on NBC. Now to the war in Ukraine and another massive Russian attack. It comes as both sides increase their attacks and after Russian leader Vladimir Putin warned that Ukraine opened a Pandora's box. Raf Sanchez has the latest.
This is the moment a Russian drone slams into a shopping mall. Authorities in Ukraine say at least 16 people were killed and more than 130 wounded in Friday's attack. I thought my earphones had burst in my ear. Then mirrors started falling, she says. Today, rescue teams searching for survivors in the shopping center's burned out remains. The strike targeting the city of Kryvyi Rih, hometown of Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky, who accused Russia of sending its drones in two waves, one for the initial attack and a second to kill emergency responders at the scene. Today, Ukraine hitting back, blowing up this warehouse of a major Russian online retailer and striking an oil refinery. Authorities say 10 people were killed across Russia. Vladimir Putin warning, Ukraine is opening up Pandora's box by going after economic targets, saying he'll step up attacks on Ukrainian infrastructure. Ukraine is having some success bringing the war home to Russia. Its strikes disrupting fuel supplies, triggering long lines at gas stations, even in Moscow. But war in the Middle East has burned through stockpiles of U.S.-made air defense missiles, the global shortage leaving Ukraine struggling to fend off Russian strikes, a scenario Zelensky warned about in an interview in Qatar back in March.
How worried are you about American weapons that are supposed to go to Ukraine and instead coming here to the Middle East?
I'm very worried. I hope that the United States will not make such a mistake.
Also today, Zelensky speaking to the French president, who said he'd speed up the delivery of European missiles, but also lobby to get Ukraine more Patriot interceptors. Those U.S.-made interceptors that Ukraine says it needs so badly right now. Jose?
Ralph Sanchez, thank you. Here at home, a major update in the case of a teen convicted of murder at a high school track meet. Carmelo Anthony's appeal for a new trial has been denied by a judge in Texas. Anthony was convicted for stabbing 17-year-old Austin Metcalf to death last year. The judge ruling today leaves that conviction in place. Also tonight, surprising moments after a small plane crashes into the ocean off Florida as people on the beach watched it happen. Steve Patterson has this report.
Tonight, beachgoers along the shores of beautiful Boca Raton shocked.
What the? Oh, that's unexpected.
After watching a small plane fall from the sky, splashing just a few feet off the coast.
I don't think that's a plane that's made to land on the water.
Watch as Samaritans and lifeguards appear to rush to who we believe is the pilot after she was plucked out of the Atlantic.
One of our lifeguards at this time is trying to make contact.
The plane still half submerged after an emergency ocean landing, its tail sticking out of the water.
That was wild.
Authorities say it happened around 10 Saturday morning. A small Piper PA-30 twin engine departing from Fort Myers, bound for the Bahamas, when it declared an emergency. The plane crashing about 2 miles east of Boca Raton Airport. The only person on board, the pilot, rushed to the hospital as a precaution, thankfully uninjured. The FAA now investigating. Craig Sutton was running on the beach and recorded the plane going down with his meta glasses.
How are you feeling as you're seeing this plane get lower and lower until it hits the water?
Yeah, like I honestly thought it was somebody showing off or doing like a trick. As it got pretty close, and I was saying that's not supposed to happen, and that's when I knew, okay, something's up. And, a little bit shocked.
Beachgoers buzzed by a stomach-churning sight, happy it all ended, with everyone back breathing on solid ground. Steve Patterson, NBC News.
Huge news in the sports world tonight with tennis superstar Serena Williams set to make a surprise comeback at the U.S. Open, and she's pairing up with another tennis legend. Here's Valerie Castro.
Tonight, a king and queen on the U.S. Open court, one of the biggest tennis tournaments now set to feature defending champion Carlos Alcaraz and the GOAT, Serena Williams, in mixed doubles when the Grand Slam kicks off next week. The surprise announcement coming months into Williams' comeback campaign, including playing singles at Wimbledon in June and with her sister Venus at the Cincinnati Open just this week.
Will that be sort of a history-making moment when they step out on the court?
I think it has to be considered a pretty big piece of tennis history.
Alcaraz himself missing from play for the last several months due to a wrist injury, recently announcing his return.
Estoy de vuelta. Here we go.
While his 2025 opponent, world number one Jannik Sinner, says a knee issue means he won't be able to compete this year. But for the more than 1 million fans who will be at the Open, new sky-high security measures from the NYPD.
The NYPD now has new independent legal authority to conduct drone mitigation operations at major events when necessary.
It's a first for any state or local police department in the country. During the FIFA World Cup, federal agencies carried out the takedowns. The New York division of the FBI seizing 63 unauthorized drones during the soccer tournament. For the U.S. Open, there will also be temporary federal flight restrictions in place as the star-studded event hits the courts.
Valerie Castro joins us now outside the site of the U.S. Open, where qualifying rounds kick off tomorrow. Valerie, what other security measures will be in place?
Well, Jose, the NYPD is well prepared for this event. They'll have hundreds of officers assigned here, deployed 24/7 during the tournament. And right now, the department says there are no specific credible threats to the U.S. Open. Jose?
Valerie Castro, thank you so much. Still ahead tonight, the massive fiery explosion overseas. What set it off? Plus, country superstar Dolly Parton sharing a new update about her health. Back now with a fiery explosion caught on camera. Take a look at this. A massive inferno in Taiwan with smoke and flames billowing into the sky. Here at this angle, it almost looks like a mushroom cloud. Local media reports say illegal dumping may be to blame. The fire spread to nearby homes as well. In all, more than a dozen people were injured and several nearby buildings were damaged. Also tonight, take a look at this. A humanoid robot from a Chinese company shattering the human world record for running 100 meters. The same record set by sprinter Usain Bolt. The robot beat Usain Bolt's record by less than a fifth of a second. It happened at the World Humanoid Robot Games, a days-long competition in Beijing. And country legend Dolly Parton sharing a new update on her health after canceling a scheduled appearance last week. She tells People magazine she has been going through, quote, hard times with my health that she didn't pay attention to while she was taking care of her late husband, Carl, who died last year. We're back in a moment with more grads struggling to find that first job and why the job market is the worst it's been in years. We're back with a major employment crisis for recent grads. For some, it's taking months to land a job. Ali Canal reports.
For generations, the game plan after college has been pretty simple. Graduate and get a job.
I still do not have a full-time job.
But for a growing number of young people, their post-grad plans are taking months.
I thought that by now I would have a job.
Jacqueline Klein graduated with her master's degree in communications in May and started applying for positions long before that.
I've applied to over 500 jobs. Overall, it's been a very frustrating process.
She is far from alone. College graduates ages 22 to 27 now face an unemployment rate of 5.7% compared to an overall unemployment rate of 4.1%. The problem? A career ladder economists describe as effectively frozen. Fewer workers moving up the ladder and fewer jobs opening up below them. Glassdoor's Daniel Zhao has seen the shift firsthand.
How would you describe this current labor market in just a few words?
Sluggish. Hiring is very slow right now.
Adding to the uncertainty, AI. But Zhao says it is not the main reason the entry-level workforce is struggling.
I don't think that AI is yet at a stage where it's really powerful or useful enough to really be replacing jobs or to be preventing employers from hiring.
This uncertain cycle still impacting where people work. Healthcare has added more than 390,000 jobs over the past year, while the information sector, which includes many tech and media positions, has lost 81,000.
Entry-level workers are really focusing on job security, and that is why we are seeing healthcare kind of overtake tech as a destination.
For Carmen Stangata Jr.,
I feel like it was pure luck.
Getting to that destination took at least 150 applications and side hustle after side hustle before finally landing a job.
My advice is don't give up, keep searching, and use the resources around you to the best of your abilities.
Good advice for people just getting their careers off the ground. Ali Canal, NBC News.
When we come back, there's good news tonight about making memories and the special way this couple celebrated nearly 60 years of marriage. Talk about a special send-off. That's 8-month-old Juventino Moreno, graduating from the NICU at Children's Hospital of Orange County after more than 240 days. His mom, Katie, overwhelmed with joy when staff surprised them with a parade. And when they got home, his extended family welcoming him with open arms. Near Gorman, Texas, an unforgettable moment on the dance floor. That's Matthew Firth surprising Carrie Giddens, inviting her for a dance on his wedding day. Carrie was the recipient of Matthew's late mother Amy's lung donation, and since then, she's become so close to the family. That surprise, planned by Matthew's wife Lizzie, catching Carrie totally off guard.
All I did was step on his feet, and he just looked at me and said, "Carrie, it's just us. It's just us dancing. Let's just have some fun." And he spun me around, and we laughed, and it was something I'm going to hold in my heart forever.
And for Matthew, a moment of connection to his late mother.
She's breathing while I'm dancing, and helped me feel an even better sense of closure and closeness.
You look good, honey.
And in Choudrette, Louisiana, love everlasting.
You care for me and I care for you.
That's Becky and David Roach renewing their wedding vows after nearly 60 years of marriage. David, how'd you get to marry this youngster who continues to be a youngster?
I don't know if it's the water or what.
Their grandson Philip Wynnum arranging the surprise, taking them to the same church where they were married in 1967.
Can I have a kiss?
Sure. And all those years later, there was still that same excitement.
Lean over and kiss.
Philip's also a photographer, and he got creative, having them remake those photos from their original wedding album.
This moment has been just so cool and has been like such a huge reminder of how important it is to honor the people in your life who have made an impact on you.
Their secret to a happy marriage?
We care about each other.
We include each other in what we're doing. We've just always worked together.
A celebration of love, faith, and success from the people who love them the most.
Don't wait to honor the people in your life that you love. It has been such a blessing to be able to share this and to give people that encouragement.
And that's NBC Nightly News for this Saturday. Ellie Jackson will be here tomorrow night. I'm Jose Diaz-Balart. Thank you for the privilege of your time, and good night.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.